Hey folks, it's Justin at Easy Rides. I'm here to show you an unboxing of one of our bikes today, the NCM M3 Moscow. Just going to kind of take you through the assembly process and kind of show you all the tools that you're going to be using to put this together. Some of the tools that I'm going to use today are X-Acto knife, a pair of snips, 10mm wrench, and a couple of Allen keys, 4mm, 5mm, 6mm. I like to start with the unboxing. Pretty simple process. Just kind of take your X-Acto knife, go up the fronts. It's a nice, easy way to get it open. Now, if you have a bike stand, it's, preferred to use a bike stand, but you can do this stuff at home on the ground if you're okay with being on the ground. And essentially the packaging is pretty simple. Everything's easy to take apart. For the NCM Moscow, it's all looped. It's all just looped strands, so you can just kind of pull the loop out and everything just kind of comes off. Nice and easy, super simple. Okay folks, once you've unboxed your bike and you've got all your parts and tools and everything laid out ready to assemble, we are going to start with the front wheel on this particular model. We have a nice little plastic piece here that kind of protects the forks. You're going to want to remove that. Generally, I like to put my foot down on there and just give the bike a little tug. Make sure that the rotor is on the left side of the frame when you're inserting the wheel. This part can be a little bit tricky, but with a little bit of finesse, you can just slide that right in there and you're good to go. Put your kickstand down, and then you're going to open up your little charger box here, and it's going to have some tools, your charger, and everything else. This is the piece that we're after. This is the quick release axle. And when you install the quick release axles always have the lever on the brake side of the wheel. So we're going to go ahead and throw that in right now. Very easy to do. Simply just slide it through. Give this a few turns. And as we're tightening it up, we want this lever right here to engage roughly about halfway, just about there, like so. And you're just going to clamp that closed, and now your front wheel is on. Okay, and now we're going to be moving on to the upper assembly part of the bike, which is the handlebars and the stem. So when these come in box, generally this stem is going to be turned towards the back, so we're just going to go ahead and flip that forward. And we're going to take our number 5 Allen key, we're going to put it right up here in the top, and we're just going to give that a nice little snug. Just snug that down a little bit. We just want to make sure that there's no play in this assembly part right here. And then you're going to take the same size Allen key, and you're going to make sure that the wheel and your fork and your tire are all lined up nice and straight before you do these bolts up. So we're going to go ahead and tighten these up now. And you just kind of want to go back and forth with the bolts. Oh, this one's being a little bit funny. There we go. Nice and tight. Just until they're snug. And then we're going to take our number 4mm Allen key, and we're just going to remove all 4 of these bolts so that we can install the handlebars. Very simple process. Everything comes out nice and easy. One of the things to pay attention to when you're installing the handlebars is that all your cabling is nice and relaxed, no twisties. So as I bring this up to put it in, I want to make sure that all my cabling is in the right place. So we're just going to kind of push everything out towards the front, and then we're just going to rest that right in there. Like to start with 1 bolt in the clamp. If you're dexterous like I am, then you should be able to get the first bolt in by hand, and that'll hold it in so that you can get the rest of the bolts in for the handlebars. Okay, once you've gotten all of this part assembled, you're going to take your 4mm Allen key, and you're kind of do a cross pattern, corner to corner. You're going to take the Allen key, and you're just going to kind of do quarter turns on each corner of the assembly until all of these bolts are snug. This may take just a little bit of your time, but it's definitely worth it for the safety. Making sure that these are all tight. And it's just going corner to corner. Also making sure that your handlebars and everything are fairly centered. You got a nice spacing on either side. Generally, most of the bikes that we have will come with a little indication printing on the front that'll kind of help you guide the bar into the proper position. Also making sure that your levers are fairly level. Everything feels relaxed. Nothing's too far down, too far up. Now we're going to install the seat. Very quick and easy process. Our bikes are set up with a quick release lever. Very easy to use. You just go ahead and slide the seat down inside. Pick your height, angle, everything that you want for your riding position. And then you're going to simply turn the knob on the one side. It's going to close up the clamp. And then just like our quick release wheel, we're just going to, once that starts to get tight, you're just going to close that up. And now you've got your seat on. All right, now next we're going to be installing the pedals. One thing to pay attention to when it comes to installing pedals is that one of these pedals is going to be reverse threaded. So in that sense, instead of it being righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, it's going to be lefty-tighty, righty-loosey. So always make sure to check the bottom of the pedal. The pedal will have a stamp on it indicating which side that the pedal is going to go on. In this case, we're going to be doing the left side, so I'm looking at my pedal. I'm seeing that there's a little L stamped on it. That's great. I have the correct one. I'm going to take a little bit of this grease, Park Tool grease. You can use any kind of grease for what you use for putting on your pedals. And we're only going to just use just a little amount. It's not going to be very much at all. Just that much, and that's plenty. Just going to kind of spread that around. Now the reason I'm doing this is so that the pedal does not fuse to the pedal arm, because this portion of the pedal is made out of steel and that is made out of aluminum. So when we want to remove our pedals, we want to make sure that we can still do that. So as I install the pedal, we can do this by hand, and you're just going to, again, you're going to go in a backwards fashion. You're going to go lefty-tighty to tighten this pedal up. And then once we get close to the end of the threads, I'm going to use my pedal wrench, which is also a 15 millimeter wrench style size. So if you have a flat wrench, 15 millimeter, even a regular wrench might fit in here. I do recommend using a pedal wrench because they're very thin, super easy to get in there. So we're just going to go ahead and clamp that on, and we're going to give this a really good crank. We're just going to make sure we put some weight on the wheel, crank that down nice and tight. Okay, so now we're going to air up the tires. Generally, when these bikes come in the box, they don't have any air in the tires, maybe about 10 psi, so we definitely want to make sure we get some air into them. Very simple. Remove the valve cap. Put whatever pump you're using on. For me, I'm using my battery-powered Ryobi air pump. Very neat pump. Put your piece on the valve stem. Power up your pump. For a standard PSI, I like to use about 40 to 45 in these particular tires. It varies with different models and makes, obviously. So for this one, we're just going to be doing about 42 PSI. That should be more than enough. Okay, so now that you've aired up your tires, there's just one last thing to do before your bike is fully complete, and that is this light assembly right here. When they come in box, they're installed backwards, so we're going to change that. 5 millimeter Allen key and our 10 millimeter wrench. And you're just going to kind of get on there and undo this. Very simple, very easy. It's just a lock nut on a bolt. And once you've got this apart, you just take this out. And we're just simply going to flip this over so that it is on the correct side. You're going to want to manipulate this just a little bit so that you're in the right position, just kind of like that. I like to install the bolt through the front, just like so. Put our light through the back, put the nut on, and then you can just go ahead and tighten that down. Make sure everything's nice and straight once it's tight, and then you're good to go. And then that's pretty much it. That is the NCM M3 Moscow.